listeners to the Wednesday show about the scary, the spooky, and the supernatural. Get ready for the latest of horror.
Hey horror fans, and welcome to the latest 13 Pods of Horror with your favorite Fright fans here, and we're diving into the most romantic and terrifying month of the year, February. While the rest of the world is busy swooning over love and roses, we over here are celebrating the dark side of Valentine's Day. In this episode, we're counting down the most unsettling, spine-tingling, and downright disturbing movies to prove love can be a real killer. From creepy cupids to blood-soaked dates, we'll be exploring the horror movies that will make you think twice about February 14th. So grab a box of chocolates or a bloody axe and get ready to snuggle up with some of horror movies' magic. We'll be discussing the twisted tales that makes Valentine's Day a nightmarish holiday. Whether you're a fan of slasher flicks, supernatural terrors, or psychological thrillers, we've got you covered. Oh, and just a warning to everyone out there, there will be spoilers. So joining me with this particular episode, I've got my aficionados in horror. If you've listened to any of our other podcasts, the novice as well in this industry. And that is Ahmed and Natasha. Hello, kids.
Hello.
Hi. We're not going to say who's who. You can figure that out yourself.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, exactly. You guys are pretty sure. There you go. That's a good little game. The answer will be spoiled at the end. All right, so we're just going to get right into this, and we're probably going to start off with probably the first in horror. Well, there probably were scarier movies to deal with Valentine's Day prior to this, but I think the most epic one to begin this whole entire thing is My Bloody Valentine from 1981.
It's a bad time, this time of year.
How many times is he gonna tell this story?
Oh, let him tell it. I love fairy tales.
This ain't no fairy tale, little girl. If you don't take it seriously, you're a fool!
The first Valentine's dance in 20 years has to be something special.
Look, Landers, you gotta get a lot of exercise if you're gonna grapple with Gretchen.
Oh, yeah? Well, I got a Valentine for her that she's never gonna forget. Right to the heart, huh?
In this town on Valentine's Day, everybody loses their heart.
Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you.
It can't be happening again.
No!
It can't be happening again.
What's going on over in Valentine Bluffs? It looks like Harry Warden's back in town.
It happened once. It happened twice. Cancel the dance or it'll happen twice.
In the town of Valentine Bluffs, there are many ways to die. Take your pick. My Bloody Valentine.
That's the one with the masks.
Most of them are with
The
masks.
mines.
The
Yeah.
The mines. Yes, exactly. Yes, this is the Canadian production.
I think I
Um,
spoiled it already.
Yep. So again, like I said, it's the 1981 Canadian slasher film directed by George McCulloch from a screenplay by John Beard. So it features an ensemble cast that includes Paul Kellen, Laurie Haler, and Neil Affleck. The plot tells about a group of young adults who decide to throw a Valentine's Day party only to incur the vengeful wrath of a maniac in mining gear who begins a killing spree. Basically, we're talking about a very classic sort of slasher setup to begin with. It deals with a nice little setup for lore and all that sort of thing, where we might as well just briefly talk through the film, right?
Yeah, well,
Okay, so what is your opinion on this movie, actually, Ahmed? Because I know you have seen this movie several times before, and I'm pretty sure
oh yeah.
this is Natasha's. Oh, and I've just spoiled it by calling him Ahmed, and he answered.
I think I messed that up already. I'm like, it's the mine one.
So, okay, as a fan of this movie for a while, I take it. I believe we've had several conversations in the past, just in our personal life, about this being a very enjoyable movie. So, what is your opinion of this version of the movie?
I think that the original, My Bloody Valentine, is probably my favorite Valentine's Day horror movie still to this date.
Right. Yep.
Very I mean, obviously it feels like the 80s. It's not timeless, but it feels classic when you're watching it. It's like, to me, it's all along the lines of, like the original, like Friday the 13th and things like that. Whereas like I feel like this movie should be much bigger than it actually was. I don't know. There's not very few things I could say that I didn't like about it. You can't even think of one, to be honest. I really, really enjoy, like, it had gore, it had, characters that weren't flat.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it had some decent, like, had a decent little twisty kind of surprise at the end. I don't know. It had the fun Harry Warden song that you can't forget, right? And like, I don't know, it's just, for me, the whole like Valentine bluffs and all that, everything in it to me was just very enjoyable, and the characters were likable, and it was an original killer, regardless of it, being a slasher, which isn't the most original subgenre.
Oh, for sure, yeah. We're also talking like early 80s, so it's still kind of new to the whole entire genre of being for the general movie-going audiences at the time, right? This is early. We're talking like barely Michael Myers, barely Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, it's a couple of years into everything.
Exactly. Yeah. My favorite part about this movie is how Canadian it actually feels. It is definitely, I mean, even though
there's some accents.
Exactly. When I revisited, I'm like, I forgot how thick the accents were, because we're dealing with a movie that was actually shot in Nova Scotia in the fall of 1980 to begin with.
Yeah.
So we're dealing at a time when it's still of course, movies are being made in Canada all the time, but
and let's just say there wasn't a whole lot of immigrants in 1980 in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's very Canadian.
Right. So you don't have, like, nowadays you would have, your main actors would be Americans and all that sort of thing, where your secondary and tertiary characters you would like recognize as all Canadian faces from. But no, this one is like so front loaded with Canadiana that it's such a spectacular throwback to a time when that basically sort of is there, but it's more of a, hey, they're shooting that in Vancouver, or like, hey, that looks like Toronto that's supposed to be New York. And again, this one day they don't pull any punches of this not being Canadian to begin with, which is kind of nice. They actually, it is set in a Canadian location to begin with. So it's kind of cool. So, Miss Natasha, what is your opinion of this movie? As it is, I believe, your first viewing?
This one she saw last year.
Yeah. I realized that, like, I saw it once a year ago, and I thought I would remember more of my weird little details, but I don't. I think, if I remember correctly, in the beginning, the opening, there's kind of like the POV of like the killer a little bit through the mask. Am I making that up, or is that like part of it a little bit?
No, the movie does take on a POV, but unfortunately, there's that's an actual running sort of theme with these Valentines. We get to see a lot. Depending on which movie you're in, you get to see a lot from the quote-unquote killer's POV. So you do actually get to look through the mask as he hunts down his victims.
Yeah. So I think I remember that being interesting. I remember liking a lot of the scenes that were like inside of, like, it was like a diner. Is that what it was?
It was like a hall.
The dining hall. Yeah.
I wish I remembered what was more on the menu. Because usually I find that the most interesting. It's the little background details, you know?
Yeah.
Was there weird dancing in that as well?
Yeah, I mean, they were partying, so it was
that was
fun.
I remember some weirdness going down.
Canadian Nova Scotia style dance.
Yeah. So there's probably some like really cool dance move. Again, it's been like a year and I've only seen it once.
Perspective into the movie. The story takes place in the modern day. So we're talking 81 when this story happens. But the preset to the current story is 20 years prior.
Yeah.
There was a accident that happened centered around a a local town Valentine's Day party. What had happened is in the mines, two people that were supposed to be looking after the mines wandered towards the party, where then a collapse happened in the mine, trapping 5 miners inside. Once they finally were able to get to the men, they found out that all but one of them had survived, where the one had turned to cannibalism to stay alive, went insane, was put into a mental institute. A year later, he breaks out and starts killing people, and then because he was after revenge to stop them from, celebrating next year's Valentine's party. So the town basically, okay, that's it. No more celebration of Valentine's, right? And then we jump to the modern day, which is 20 years later, where they start to do it all over again. And of course, in typical slasher footage, slasher film lore, you bring back your character and all that sort of thing. So
I don't remember the cannibalism part.
Yeah, there's a really actually neat shot where they see him. You see him kind of he's like just finished gnawing on someone, and he's like hysterically laughing and screaming.
How don't I remember that? That would have been one of my favorite.
Don't worry.
It's exactly. It's very beautifully shot because again we're dealing with, it's a very dark environment and he's not lit except for a few
and it's low
moving
budget.
around. It's very low budget, but again we're dealing with, he's in the middle of a darkened, abandoned sort of mine shaft, and has been, I can't remember the amount of time he was in there, but he obviously he's resorted to cannibalism and eating the 4 other miners that was with him and all that sort of thing, as one would do. Yes, exactly.
Troy, again, I don't know if you want to put this in your podcast, but how desperate do you have to be to resort to cannibalism, and do you think you can do it?
You know what?
I have so many questions. If you start to answer, I have more questions.
So if it would have to be in a situation where I know it's hopeless and I'm not killing someone to get to their meat. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
If someone had perished in the disaster that got me trapped and all that sort of thing, it would take definitely a while, but I'm pretty sure that, again, just eating raw, actually processed meat is kind of disgusting enough, but to have to get past the fact that we are dining on human is probably going to push me a little while longer. But
because this is a mine question, you don't get to cook it.
What do you...
He's in a mine. It's not like he had a barbecue down there.
No, I know you can make a fire.
No, there was nothing to make a fire with.
Well, first of all, okay, it was a methane. It was a methane gas explosion that trapped them in there. I just remembered now that it was a methane gas explosion. So you would not have had any sort of thing that would be flammable, just in case you set the whole entire mine on fire, which is what happened.
You
to
might
trap
have gotten
these men.
lucky with the explosion and have some of them be pre-cooked.
But you're probably not going to eat them. You're probably not going to eat them right after the explosion, right?
You got to go right to it while it's fresh.
Torch.
Take you out 30 minutes later, and you're like, "Oh shit,
man, I missed lunch."
Can't skip lunch.
Oh boy. Okay, well, that was my second question was going to be if you could do it raw or
I guess I got answered there.
Yeah, I know. That's I think I'd have a hard time with that one. I feel like if it was cooked, it'd be so much easier.
Well, here's the thing. He went crazy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't he was
Troy, I'm not asking that guy.
Well, I mean, you can't ask a sane person what they would do when they've gone insane.
But what if Troy was sane in the mine? And I'm just curious. I have to share or not. That's all.
If you're sane and you're eating raw people, you got bigger problems.
Okay. And my last question is, what part would you start with?
I would probably start with a thigh, because it's probably the meatiest place to begin with. But now you've also got to take in consideration how long are you waiting since this body has been dead to decide to start eating it, because no matter what,
you're decomposing fast.
You're starting to decompose. Yeah. Now you could if you take in consideration that you're trapped in the depths of a mine where it's probably cold enough to keep things sort of on ice for a little bit longer than usual, but still you have to see how far you're going to take it before you decide, all right, well, this took an interesting twist on the idea for this podcast. But hey, all right.
This is my deal when you bring me on here. You know this.
Hey, no, that's the main reason why I bring you on here. So, so just to put it out there that despite it having mixed responses from critics, it did gross $5.7 million at the box office off of a 3.7, I believe, $1 million budget, which at the time is a fantastic thing, especially from a movie coming out of Canada. So yeah, one of the nice things I like about this particular movie is there really is no sequel. At the time in 81, they had planned on making a sequel to it in the mid 80s, but unfortunately production just stalled and whatnot. And again,
probably for the best for back then.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Again, it didn't have the notoriety that a Michael Myers or a Jason Voorhees got at the time.
No, definitely.
And then when you start throwing a Freddy Krueger into the mix, you're definitely like, oh no, we're definitely not bringing the Miner back for another movie. But that's one of the things I really like about this is that it's a singular movie to begin with. There is no drawn out lore. There is no extra put into it and whatnot. Plus the nice twist ending is kind of cool to see the movie setting up one character, the Henry Warden character, who apparently had ended up dying earlier and all that sort of thing, to bring it back to someone in the community that was traumatized by witnessing their father being murdered by the original killer decades earlier and all that sort of thing. So yeah,
eaten. Who knows?
And again, it is very, very lovingly gory as well, especially for a horror movie of such a small budget from a country that really wasn't known for its this type of movie, which is kind of neat.
So Valentine Bluffs, it's a fan-made sequel.
Gotcha.
But I think
okay.
they filmed it in the same place.
Okay.
I think it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Troy, the chocolate boxes with the hearts and the blood all in it, would you still eat chocolates?
Depends on the lighting. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Like I mean, see, that's the other thing too. You got to put yourself into the mind of the situation too.
The mind of the situation.
Yes, exactly. I realized that I said mind instead of mind of the situation. If you're in the movie itself, as opposed to you're presented this box with, like, currently right now, like Ahmed pulls out a box of chocolates covered in blood. First of all, you're going to go, is that actual blood sort of thing? Or where'd that blood come from? Or like, where'd those chocolates come from or whatnot? I'd probably end up passing. Yeah. Yourself?
Myself, well, every time they would show it, I'm like, still good. Like every time I enter, I'm like, I'd still eat that. Which, like, truthfully, I don't know. Like, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. Unless it was like marinara. If it was actually marinara, I'd probably have it.
You try. The turkey heart is hard to eat.
I still do it.
Yeah, but this is like size of your face almost.
Like an apple. No,
which is unrealistic, but yes.
Yeah. yes. All right, so that's going to move us on to our next movie on the list. And while there are several other slasher films out there between the decades, nothing really comes to mind that centers around Valentine's Day until we reach 2001, and that's Valentine.
He loves me. Spend this Valentine's Day.
He loves me not.
With someone you love.
He loves me.
Someone you trust.
He loves me not.
And someone you know.
He loves me.
Won't try to kill you.
Will you dance with me? Dance with me? Dance with me?
Remember the kid everybody ignored on Valentine's Day?
Loser.
Well, he remembers you.
God, we were so horrible to that kid.
What do you think happened to him?
No! Stay away from me!
Which, again, is a slasher film directed by Jamie Blanks and starring a very, at the time, very popular
This movie screams 2001.
Yes, it totally does. It totally does. It totally reflects the era of which the movie was made.
Yeah.
And we have David Boreanaz, Denise Richards, Marley Shelton, Jessica Capshaw, and Katherine Heigl. So yeah, if that doesn't tell you what you're about to sit down and watch, it yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So again, this movie deals with another mass killer referred to as I believe it's just Cupid. They refer to him as Cupid because he's wearing a Cupid mask.
Yeah, you got a killer Cupid situation in this one.
Exactly. Probably the least scariest of all the masks that we deal with in this series of movies, as it
I
just
mean,
looks.
he has like nosebleeds.
I understand that. But I think the oversized cherub face as a mask, makes it does not make it look as menacing as they had hoped.
It's a little goofy.
Whereas when everyone
not exactly
sees
Ghostface.
no, definitely not Ghostface. Yes, but when everyone encounters this cherub mask, they always seem to be terrified. And I'm like, I mean, look, Doctor Who did it so much better with the Weeping Angels several decades later. But this fat-cheeked cherub face just does not seem, especially when you put it on the tall body of the person wearing it as well. It just doesn't seem to. But again, we're dealing with a story where like a high school kid gets jilted and made fun of, and then decades later,
revenge time.
Yeah, a revenge story and all that sort of thing. Yeah, where we deal with these kids like 12 years later, and everyone's grown up, and people start getting picked off one by one, heading towards Valentine's Day.
Very much post Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah,
like urban legend.
Urban legend, and that's another great example. Yeah, exactly. It is one of those movies where they decided, hey, who's the hottest actors we have right now? Let's throw together let's
put a bunch of floating heads on a poster and
that is truly what that poster is.
It doesn't matter what it looks like or if it's goofy. Let's just do it.
Let's shoot it let's shoot it like we're doing some sort of music video of the time and all that sort of thing. So what did you guys think about this? I'll ask Natasha first. What was your impression of this movie? If you remember what this movie was.
This was also, I think, last year.
No,
not the year before.
It was the year before.
The year before.
Oh, okay.
It was like 2 years ago. I watched it.
All right.
And well, I liked it enough that I made a painting for it. So there's that. But
you did a painting of like the cover art.
Yeah.
So like the mask itself is what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
He Loves Me Not kind of written in the background.
Right. Yes. Okay. I remember that piece of art. I've seen that somewhere on your Instagram.
That was like the only not floating heads kind of poster thing they did for it.
Yeah. So I remember liking it enough for that. But in my mind, like I don't remember. I don't know. Actually, I was thinking about it today because I knew we were going to talk about it. I was trying to remember what the movie was about, and what I thought it was about is very different than the trailer that I tried to watch.
Yeah, the trailer is pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't remember seeing. Like, I remember liking this. If I saw based on the trailer, I would never.
You didn't love it.
I didn't love it.
You didn't mind it.
Wasn't there art? There was art, right? There was like an artist.
Yes, one of the girls.
Yes, one of the characters. One of the characters is an artist.
He's having an art show.
That was the best one.
Yeah.
Because like I remember that part.
Yeah, he's like a creepy weirdo.
Yeah, and I'm like, it wasn't Maniac because like I'm trying to. I'm like, it's not that.
That was a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like I'm combining those two in my mind, and I'm like, it's not that, but there was art because I liked it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
What about you, Ahmed?
I enjoy it. I mean, I own it. To me, it's like very nostalgic, though. Is part of what makes it good. It's like going back and like it's pretty nostalgia based. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't go ahead and call it one of the greatest Valentine's movies ever. Especially funny since it took them until 2001 to come up with a killer Cupid Valentine's Day movie. Right, because that's one of the great things about My Bloody Valentine is like, I mean, it takes place on Valentine's Day. There's no Cupid. There are Valentines, but it's in a town called like Valentine's Bluff. Like
exactly.
It's so does its own thing, and then like finally they're like, oh, Killer Cupid. Like, why didn't we think of this? And again, it's just a guy who's wearing a baby head mask. And so it makes it a lot less intimidating. And again, not the greatest cast for acting or anything like that.
That is for sure. Yeah. But again, they were also banking on, especially David Boreanaz for like the Buffy universe.
Yes.
Like he was hot. He was probably the most interesting person to watch. Yes, he was definitely.
Yeah. Everyone else is very like snooty and annoying, which I guess that was a kind of a thing back then. I find very few of those like post Scream slashers had a likable cast.
Yeah, exactly. But again, they were just collecting a bunch of pretty faces to throw them into whatever story that they can dish out in like the 3 months that they turned the movie around.
Entertaining,
sort of thing.
And as per usual with these, they try to always throw a little twist on it. So, which was meh, but
it was definitely like, yeah, well, we kind of guessed that sort of thing. Yeah, but
in the end, it was fun enough. It's passable.
It was. I did find myself more entertained rewatching it for this podcast than I thought I was going to be, because I remember watching it and I never really had a copy of it, but I was able to track it down on one of the streaming services. I can't remember which one I watched it on. And as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, yeah, it probably was Tubi actually, to be honest. But I'm watching, I'm like, okay, it's engaging enough to let you sit there and watch the whole entire thing.
Like, it's especially now that you can watch it and not take it too seriously, that it's more fun.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
It's when you watch it for the first time, you were trying to take it seriously, and it was very different. It was like, oh man, it's kind of cringy.
They did a big push on the marketing for this movie. That's one of the things I do remember seeing. Basically the trailer was on commercials like constantly in the weeks leading up to the movie and whatnot. But all right, so in an unsolicited poll, I believe we were going to move on to the probably the most liked movie on this list, and that's going to be 2008's Pontypool.
What you are hearing is an actual radio broadcast. It is the only recording of the event.
Roadblocks preventing people from leaving and entering the area.
Everybody is under quarantine.
Claude! We still do not have an official version of these events, and it's very difficult at this moment to get a fix on what has happened.
Oh God! These people are trying to eat their way inside.
They cut into our signal.
Ken?
And their eyes. He's looking at
me. For your safety, please avoid contact with family members and refrain from the following. All terms of endearment. For greater safety, do not translate this message. Not translate. Just listen to me.
The Valentine's Day movie that is very much a hidden kind of Valentine's Day movie that you don't think of right away for the most part.
It is fantastic. And again, we are dealing with a Canadian psychological horror thriller, which is directed by a fantastic Canadian director, Bruce McDonald. And it's written actually by Tom Burgess, based off of his 1995 novel, Pontypool Changes Everything. So, also, I got a note where Burgess had adapted the material of the screenplay himself. And according to McDonald, he had hashed out the script in 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
Changing it to like an Orson Welles radio broadcast of War of the Worlds style from what the original source material was. So, it's got a fantastic cast that is very small to see visually, because there aren't a lot of visual characters
we're talking about
movie and all that.
A whole movie in a small town radio.
Exactly and we're just basically dealing with, the most part, we're in a radio station and all that sort of thing. What we deal with is it's sort of like a zombie virus that gets transmitted by word.
Yeah.
It is words that turn people and all that sort of thing. And we deal with this small group of radio performers in their station. As
it's funny because when you talk about it, it sounds so much worse than it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
like it's hard. It's a hard movie to describe. You kind of just have to go in and watch it, almost not knowing anything about it.
Which is probably the best way to do this movie. Yeah.
It's so it's so original and it's so well done, and it really does have you like going, like wondering what's going to happen next and how and why everything's going on. It's not in any way something that you've seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless of the whole virus-ish, which we don't even know how to even actually call it. It's very much its own thing.
True. Yes.
Not like a physical contact, like zombie virus kind of thing. It's very much just like in the in like sound waves.
Yeah. Which again is the center of a radio station, exactly. Yeah, which is fantastic.
It's super cool, super original, and it takes place throughout it's a blizzard when it starts, right?
It is a blizzard. Yes, it is a blizzard that happens on the 14th of February.
Yes.
Which again, like you said, it's not very much a Valentine's movie.
Not until closer to the end.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. It does turn into a
spoiler alert.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But again, it's still not the core of the movie, which is fantastic.
And it's not in any way trying to play off of any sort of goofy theme or trope.
Nope.
It's out of everything on this list, it's definitely like the most well-made film.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, exactly. And that's not just because we're dealing with a very good director, but we're dealing with a fantastic story, and we're working with amazing actors. And again, it's a very small cast, but again, it deals with the storyline dealt with in a like War of the Worlds radio drama sort of situation where there we see our characters trapped inside this radio station reacting to what they hear coming from outside, because people are calling in and they're calling out and whatnot. And it's just
one of my favorite things on there was the weatherman or the traffic, the air traffic guy.
Right.
Who's not really, who's not actually in a chopper in the whole kind of movie, the guy's talking to him thinking like, oh, this guy can see everything. And it's like, he kind of just parks his car on a hill and has a look.
What was your opinion of this movie?
Well, if I'm being fully honest, this is like the only movie I liked on the list.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like truly liked.
Yeah, like actually was like genuinely, I'm gonna remember this for a very long time. Mind you, I only saw it last year one time, so that was a year ago. So I can't remember exactly all of my thoughts that I had on it, but I do remember, because I know it was like a virus passed like via like language/sound, and I was trying to figure out like if accents or like language barriers would change how you respond to the virus or not. So I can't remember exactly, because like I said, it's been a year. But things like that I was very curious. Like I was thinking about this movie for a long time after we saw it, and I liked how little it had in terms of kind of, I remember like the main guy, being in a set
in a booth. Yeah,
I was gonna say recording booth. Great voice.
It has a fantastic voice for radio too.
Yeah. I was just gonna say
perfectly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I just remember that like so much was said, and it was so original with so little. Like they had like a guy in a booth and this crazy concept, and it was like
not showing you a lot going on, but a lot is going on.
Very unforgettable.
Yeah.
Which
for sure.
Yeah. In the beginning, you introduced us as horror movie aficionados. Is that what you called us?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's definitely one of us. I feel bad. If I'm being like totally honest, like I barely like anything half the time. I'm super hard to please, and my movie choices never make any sense. Like for the longest time, my favorite movies were Joker and Eurovision from Netflix, like the Legend of Fire saga.
Okay.
And
yeah.
all of my
Polar opposites. That's her taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like this movie actually was super, super interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. And kind of because I've only ever seen it once. So it'd be interesting after knowing.
And I only ever play these movies around the holiday that they take place. I'm not the type to watch them all year.
Just pop it on at any time, yeah.
Yeah, in that way I don't wear it out, you know?
Yeah.
No, makes sense. It
has to be like a blizzard to watch like a certain if there's a blizzard in
if it's not at least snowing a lot outside, I'm not watching the thing, you know? Like
you set yourself, especially being a Canadian film as it is, setting yourself in the environment that the movie is taking place in. So, but I guess
I think it makes it more fun, and like I said, it stops you from wearing everything out all the time.
For sure. Like you said, Natasha, of these movies, while I find a lot of them quite entertaining and very fun to watch, this is probably my favorite as well out of this whole entire list, just because of how completely different it is from any other movie in this genre, which is, and again, it goes to, and again, we're not dealing with a huge budget to begin with, but just how it's so beautifully treated when you have the perfect craftspeople working on a project. And that's what we get when we get Pontypool. So on that note, we're going to now switch back to doing what we usually end up discovering after a couple of years of absence from a particular story, and that's the reimagining or the revisiting. And that is My Bloody Valentine 3D from 2009.
Exactly what did you see?
Something was following us.
This is the most horrific event this town has ever seen. Authorities are calling this the Valentine's Day Massacre.
In the town of Harmony, something unexplainable
Hello?
is happening.
Come here, you better check this out.
What is it?
This January, prepare to witness.
What do you want?
The most frightening 3D motion picture event to tear through the screen. Bloody Valentine 3D. Nothing says date movie like a 3D ride to hell.
So we're dealing with a remake of the original slasher film. This was actually directed by Patrick Lussier and written by Ton Farmer and Zane Smith. Again, it is a remake of the 1981 film, and it stars Jensen Ackles, Jamie King, Kerr Smith, and Kevin Tinge.
Yeah.
No, there's no engine in that name. Ting. Anyways.
There was, this is another movie where his cast is very much of its time.
Yep.
So that's an interesting part about that. I caught this one in theaters when it first came out.
This is also one that I saw as well in theaters as well.
In 3D.
In 3D.
No, you didn't see it in theaters. Get out of here. How old were you when this came out?
What year?
2009.
That's what I thought.
11.
Yeah. There you go.
This was I had made a mistake, and at the time I had prescription sunglasses and regular glasses, and I would just swap back and forth and all that sort of thing. When I went to see this movie, I totally forgot to bring my regular glasses, so I had to watch this movie not only through tinted sunglasses, but the tinted lenses that the real 3D lenses were actually. So
you were lights out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, when it was dark, it was really dark in this movie.
This one was cool because this movie like kicked off the whole 3D craze.
It was basically one of the very earliest. It was actually the first movie to actually be presented in real D.
Yeah, it was the first one.
It was the first movie that It
was the first non-red and blue 3D glasses type of movie.
Yeah. 3D had started coming into the lexicon of movies at this time. This is when everyone was all like, hey, we can make 3D almost as easily as we can plus we can charge an extra couple of bucks for them to see it because of whatnot and all that. But this is the first
like Friday the 13th Part 3 style shots where like this was intended for 3D.
Yes,
like, we were
this was definitely
the first time, and Natasha was like what the hell's going on? Like I could see her when they had certain shots, like what the hell's going on with this? Like why are they showing it like this?
To see the end of like your pickaxe for like 8 whole seconds. I'm like, I know what it is. And then like it happened like 4 times. And then he's like, oh, it's like it's meant for 3. I'm like, oh, like okay.
In the theaters, it was like waving over the audience, you know?
You're like, it's the first one. So of course, like, you know, if that's so they're gonna have it for like extra
very gimmicky.
And speaking of gimmicky, do yourself a favor and go back and track down the actual trailer for this movie. The actual trailer they show reactions of an audience watching this movie and the pickaxe coming through the screen over top of it. It's so
light,
it's so beautifully exactly. The headlamp shines on the audience. It's so beautiful. Do yourself a favor as soon as you're done here, just go back and watch that because it's just it's very like SCTV 3D House of whatever that they used to do, up to the screen and back and up to the screen and back. It was just so fantastic. Again, we're dealing with basically the same story. They tighten up the time frame between everything being ended and coming back. There's not a 20-year gap. There's a 10-year gap, meaning that our character to leave the town and then come back is the same actor of Jensen Ackles. One of the leads of Supernatural. One of the interesting things about this Jensen Ackles actually being in this movie, being a remake of a movie from 1981, is that his co-star of Jared Padalecki had actually also in 2009
Friday the 13th
was in the Friday the 13th remake as well. Pretty much literally one later. So basically both guys in their break between shooting seasons of Supernatural went off to film remakes of horror films to have them released within a month of each other, which I think is a fantastic thing. But you know what? We'll talk more about Jared Padalecki's movie next month when we talk more about Friday the 13th.
Yeah, he dressed so similar in this movie that like when he got into like the old beat up car, I was like confused. I'm like, where's your like?
Where's the Impala? Where's the Impala? Exactly. Yeah.
I think it looks like the ship box.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a good car. It's just beaten up.
Oh yeah, it was a Ford Bronco classic. Like it's still very desirable car.
I'm not a car girl, okay?
I know, I get you.
If it's not a what do you call it? If it's not a Camaro or a freaking Challenger, I don't see it.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to
yes, exactly. So a decade earlier, we have a psycho killer killing off people. The terror ends, and our character of Jensen Ackles.
This one was interesting because the pre-movie kind of storyline, right? Whereas in the original, it was with adults in the mine, and an accident, and this one was more like you didn't really see what happened with the adults in the mine accident. No. It was more so the aftermath with the teenagers partying in the mine.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
and then them being adults for the main story, which was like kind of a neat little twist or difference kind of they did, you know, on the original.
And and like you're saying,
shot for shot or anything.
Which is a good thing because I'm glad that they decided to take the idea of the movie and then, I mean, it does parallel the same story to begin with, not without. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat that and all that.
Yeah, but they took out the cannibalism and stuff like that.
Good parts.
Yeah, well, not all the good parts, but yeah.
But I think this movie definitely was made around its 3D shots.
Oh yeah.
They are the movie is definitely well aware as when you watch this movie in 2D, it's definitely very obvious that like, oh, that would have looked cool in 3D. It's like you said, it's a lot like Friday 13th Part 3 where you see a lot of like my favorite is
holding the eyeball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it was cool to see in the theater. I actually think I saw it in an empty theater to begin with, because I believe I saw a matinee of the movie. I just happened to see like a Friday afternoon movie.
I saw it during the day as well.
Yeah, exactly. Hence the reason why I was wearing my sunglasses. Hence the reason why I was wearing my sunglasses. If it had been at night, I would have had my regular glasses on. It would have been fine. But it was. But you know what? I found it was more enjoyable than I had expected it to be. Yeah. It was cheesy, but it played into its cheesiness. It did not try and take itself too serious. Let me put it that way. It did not try and take itself too serious, and you can see that on the screen.
One of the things there's two things I don't like about this movie for the most part.
What's that?
Okay. One is kind of the hilarious
cannibalism.
Well, not that. I don't care about that. Relax. That might be what you didn't like about the movie. Anyway, when you say it doesn't take itself seriously, it's like yes and no. At some points, it kind of took itself too seriously at the same time. Like the whole teens partying in the beginning, whereas it was very much an adult cast, and then you know what I mean? Like it's like 5 minutes later, I'm supposed to believe they're like 10 years older.
10 years older. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're getting at. Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, definitely.
Like the main guy, I didn't recognize
him. She didn't recognize the he was in like Dawson's Creek or something. That guy. The sheriff, Axel.
Oh, right.
And the other thing I didn't like about it was the fact that they made him the hero of the movie. I was like, why did you take the most, like the least likable, like most, like I can't stand this guy's character, like he's such a sack of shit, and make him the hero of the movie at the end? That's what I didn't like. I was like very much like, despite the twist being like, okay, I mean, it didn't really make sense, but I guess okay, you know. Why'd you make this guy the hero? Like, I'd rather any of the other characters have been made the hero of the movie. Give me a side character and make him the hero, but the guy that's like a piece of crap in the beginning of the movie when he's a teenager, and then later on he's like the sheriff who cheats on his wife and like, you know, gets like this girl pregnant and all these things, and then it's like, and all of a sudden it's like you make this guy like you make him take on like the bad guy, you know. Yeah, not so easy to like root for anyone in this case, you know.
No, for sure. That is true. It's a movie where it's one of those movies where you get behind the killer taking out the other characters. It's
yes. I mean, so like Jensen Ackles' character was likable.
Yeah.
And I think right up until the end, you know, like he was a likable character. He wasn't like an asshole in the movie. I mean, like the townspeople didn't like him, but like whatever, like that's kind of part of the storyline. But like he didn't do anything in the movie that you were watching that you were like, hey, this guy's a dick, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like he was like one of the few people you could kind of get behind. And like, you know, spoiler alert, the twist ending was like, you know, also the killer. Which again, you know, didn't really make any sense, but I don't know. It is what it is.
A choose your own adventure sort of ending. I'm like, you turn to this page and it's this person. You turn to this page and it's this person. And they went to, okay, we're going to do this ending is what we're going to do, sort of thing. Yeah.
And I think at the time there was probably one too many movies that came out that did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you had it's like after Fight Club came out, all of a sudden you had Bloody Valentine, you had Secret Window, you had High Tension, you had all these movies come out where they're like, guess what? The person you thought was trying to get away the whole time, they were the killer.
They had some sort of like identity disorder and all that sort of thing. Pretty much everyone was sidled with like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It definitely, the trope wore out really quickly. Yeah. But again, a lot, like you said, a lot of stories definitely depended on that as being the, hey,
lazy ending.
Exactly. Lazy writing, I would put up more to, and then just having to deal with that as your ending.
Yeah, I think the only time I enjoyed that, aside from, you know, Fight Club, which was actually amazingly done, was Secret Window. I think that was the only one with Johnny Depp.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, you know what? I like that kind of descent into madness a little bit. That one made a little more sense to me.
I think it also helps when you're not only dealing with an actor that can do that properly, but you're also dealing with a storyline where that is your main through line and all that, instead of this where it seems to be tacked on at the end.
This
sort
is
of thing.
tacked
Like,
on at the end.
What do you mean he was the killer all along? Sort of
like,
thing.
yeah, I mean, High Tension was like a big time, like French,
High Tension,
classic.
yeah.
And I was really getting into the movie until that happened. And I'm like, there was a car chase scene. Like, no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What about you, Natasha? What do you have to say about the 3D version of My Bloody Valentine?
Nothing nice.
My favorite scene, which is the only scene I liked, was when there's a little quick shot when they're like showing, I don't know, some like decrepit little space. There's like a rat eating the chocolates out of the box. And then I said to Ahmed that like, oh man, like nice, like, get him, Splinter. And then the next scene, there's like an old guy in a robe that's like going for his gun, but it kind of looked like a staff. And then Ahmed was like, that's not Splinter, that's a gun, that's not a staff. And I'm like, I was talking about the rat, which we both obviously, kind of smiled and chuckled to each other. Aside from that, wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Rewatching it, I found myself doing a lot of secondary screen watching.
Yeah.
I've always got another project on the go, so
it doesn't hold up.
No, it definitely does not. No. And I think it looks very dated.
Yeah.
And the 3D effects definitely in 2D are comical to watch.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, is that like you can make a movie that's dated and comical and still, like I said, Friday the 13th Part 3, still one of the most fun entries to watch.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
It is. Yeah.
But this was like, it took itself a little too seriously for that. Like, it wasn't that, it wasn't that like kind of, whereas once Jason showed up in the Friday the 13th movies, it kind of just became fun the entire time. Right? Like only the original was intended to be like kind of thrilling and scary.
Exactly. Yeah.
Once Jason showed up, it was like, oh man, what's this guy going to do next?
Yeah.
Whereas this was very much trying to stay on the thrilling and scary side, but going back and forth between like, like comedic gore. Did have Tom Atkins though.
Oh yeah, that was another thing.
He also was like an 80-year-old man in the previous shot, and then
and was still 10 years later. Yeah.
They didn't even try and change him. I was like, okay.
So that 80-year-old man is now 90.
He's just retired, but looks exactly the same.
Out of the list, it's probably my least revisited of these movies. Oh, sorry. I apologize. I'll put Valentine on the bottom of my list and all that sort of thing. This one, not so much, because
Valentine Day had art. Just saying.
I'm not taking that away from it, but again, I think I enjoyed this one because I actually did physically see it in the theater, and I did get to experience the way the movie was definitely meant to have been seen in 3D. So I would have definitely probably enjoyed it even more if I saw it in a fuller theater than what I did.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Sometimes those 3D movies, you need the empty theater to kind of like get the right spot for the 3D to work well.
Oh no, for sure.
Because if you were in the wrong spot, because it's a packed theater and you end up sitting off to the side somewhere, not the same.
Because again, we're dealing with a time where you actually have to show up and get your own seats. You can't reserve seats in 2000. There's no reservated seats.
You had to be like a certain amount of rows from the front, dead center, in order for
exactly get the there was that little circle of influence that was the best seating for a 3D movie. You were outside of it, it's like this ain't so
exactly
good. Yeah, exactly.
But if you were in there, it was like whoa. Like I remember watching Avatar like in that spot, and like there was people getting like tossed over the seats in front of me, and I was like, this is awesome.
All right, so that's going to bring us up to our latest movie on our list, which actually was released last year in 2025, and that is Heart Eyes.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to
For the past 2 years, a masked maniac known as the Hard-Eyes Killer has stalked,
hunted,
and brutally slain couples on Valentine's Day.
With no motive yet uncovered.
This is more than just murder. He's like Cupid with a kink.
We're being chased by a fucking serial killer.
Hey, you good?
Yeah. He's gonna keep killing people. We end it here.
Hey, come on.
Stop it!
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy V-Day!
Get killed, all right? What was...
Why would he say that?
I don't know about you, but I did not know much about Heart Eyes before I went in to see. I actually saw this in the theaters.
All I knew was that it was a killer with hard eyes. That's all I knew.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that I knew about it. I did not. I saw a teaser trailer that didn't have much to the actual story and all that sort of thing. And when I went back this week to rewatch the trailers for all these movies, the end of this trailer gets really slapsticky.
Oh,
and I think finding the movie as Comedy Central as it actually was a surprise to me, because I was expecting a slasher flick going into it.
I agree.
Again, yeah, exactly.
I'm on the same page. I didn't watch any trailers going into it.
Yeah,
I was like, Hard Eyes, Valentine's Day movie? I'm not watching it until Valentine's Day. That's all I had to know.
Exactly. So this movie is directed by Josh Rubin and is written by Philip Murray. And the film stars Olivia Holt, Mason Goodwin as our two main protagonists in the movie. So, when did you see this? Did you just either of you?
Day before yesterday.
So this is a brand new. Okay,
yeah.
What are your opinions then?
Yeah. Oh well, I have some pretty strong opinions about this one.
Okay.
I feel like it was kind of, I guess they're playing on the whole like hard eyes emoji kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the basis of like the killer. They did give him a crossbow, which was nice. Well, I think it should have been the main weapon of choice for the movie versus switching it up for like, machetes and knives and guns and whatever the heck they had. I was like,
weapons of convenience.
Yeah. I think the crossbow being the main weapon should have been more upfront in that movie. Aside from that, again, like going into it not knowing it was more slapsticky, I was kind of disappointed in that sense. Whereas afterwards, thinking, okay, romantic comedy, it would have been cool if they made the romantic comedy and then had more serious violence in it. Versus it's a lot of slapstick humor, kind of comedy violence.
Yes.
And I guess that's not so much my thing anymore, Like I'm always looking for something a little more serious. Like, and like I said, I could totally have like the concept of a fun romantic comedy mixed with like a serious slasher, I think would have been, for me, cooler to see. Whereas it was kind of more leaning in one direction completely.
Exactly.
Aside from that, I don't know, it was okay. I think it was overhyped. I think a lot of, which it's hard with social media these days, and there being a lot more horror fans up front than there used to be. A lot of things get overhyped. I think this was one of them for me. Kind of like, in a sense, like Thanksgiving for me was overhyped as well.
Patrick Dempsey.
Yeah, and that's how they got people to watch the movie that were older.
Without a doubt, that is the reason.
And in this one, you had Devon Sawa and what's her name from The Faculty. You know what I'm talking about, though. The other.
Yes, I'm trying to. My brain
Spoiler
is like,
alert,
what,
if it's not too soon. 3, 2, 1. The other killer. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. What about you, Natasha? Because this would have been new to you as well. If it's new to Ahmed, it's definitely new to you.
Yeah, no, it's new to me too. Well, I thought I totally confused it with another movie. So I thought it was Love Hurts. So the entire time I'm waiting for I don't know his name, but Short Round to show up. Yeah, no. And I'm waiting the whole time. And I realized after that this is a different movie. So I was gonna say that's all I know, but I didn't even
It's what are we watching? And I'm like, that's not a horror movie. We're doing a horror movie Valentine's Day podcast. We're gonna watch that later this week because also there's Love Hurts that I've been saving for Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Right. Definitely not a horror movie.
Yeah. So all I knew was totally not even any. Yeah.
I don't even know why she thought it was called Hard Eyes.
I don't know. I knew that those. I must have combined the. I like the name of the.
They did come out at the same time.
I was just excited for Short Round. I thought that's what we're gonna watch.
Yeah.
I just
manifested later, but yes, not that. Anyway. Actually, talk about this movie.
Well, I was just that was a lot of the hype for me. I was waiting for him.
Your opinion on the movie.
The opinion on the movie. I caught on right away that it was the cheese from a cheesy, rom-com, and then the cheese from a cheesy horror movie. And Ahmed was I don't know, not that you were struggling with that concept, but you were
the opening sequence, I was very much not enjoying at all. With the first 5 minutes of the movie, I was like, this is gonna be bad. The whole proposal and in the winery, I was like, this is gonna be terrible. Two terrible actors, nothing likable about it. I was like, it's not even funny. I'm not liking it.
Well, anyway,
I almost checked out early.
Well, anyways, I caught on to that, so I kind of knew what after I realized Short Round wasn't showing up, I realized what we were signing up for. So I don't know, I had very low expectations for the whole thing. Yeah, I was gonna say with the only thing I can remember, I remember the movie. There's nothing that it wasn't exactly my thing either. Which if it's not the Babadook or what's the other one I like, Tucker and Dale versus the Forces of Evil. If it's not those
Tucker and Dale is probably the greatest horror comedy I think of all time, personally.
Well, if it's not those two things, I have a hard time, which they're night and day.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it didn't have the smarts to be Tucker and Dale as a comedy.
I'm trying to think. There was certain things that I did like about it. Mainly, I guess at the end, I liked the. What's it called? The actual, all the candles and stuff, the setup of where they were. It was very pretty there. Yeah, aside from that, I also wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw this in the theaters with not expecting very much to come out with. I did see it on an evening show, so it was a full theater. So I got a horror movie experience and whatnot. So when things were jump scares, which there were a few jump scares, there were a couple that were a little too predictable, but a lot of the audience didn't catch on to a lot of stuff. So it's kind of fun to be sitting in a giant crowd of people getting scared around you when you realize, oh, wait a sec, this is going to happen, and it happens. And then you chuckle to yourself knowing that, hey, I'm smarter than everyone else here.
Always a good feeling.
Yes, exactly. I did enjoy the comedy and I did enjoy the horror. But like you said, Ahmed, they should have, it should have been more of a serious comedy and a serious horror instead of a slapstick both.
Yeah.
And as I'm sure your opinion is the same as mine, doing a horror comedy is probably one of the hardest things to pull off. Two of my favorite,
I almost like none of them.
Yeah, exactly. Two of my most favorite horror movies on my top 10 list are An American Werewolf in London and The Return of the Living Dead. Both deal with serious stories but throw comedy into it at the right points to be able to you did a little bit of scare and then you give a bit of a joke and then you go into a scare and all that sort of thing. They handle it perfectly. This movie stays kind of Looney Tunes throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Even like you said, the acting is not very grounded in a serious film. And you're dealing with a subject matter which, if this had been the first occurrence of the what was the character's name? What do they refer to the bad guy as in this movie? They have an acronym of the HEK.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he had an acronym name. They took, like I said, they made it sound like it was serious.
Exactly.
And it's like it's almost like a Son of Sam type of killer, and like
exactly
threw that out the window.
But they start off your movie giving you that, hey, this has been going on for a couple of years and no one's been able to stop him and all that sort of thing. So, you should fear Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So with that as your setup, it should have been a hell of a lot more grounded in reality. And then you put in your slapstick to break yourself out of the horror that you just saw and all that sort of thing. But
and
unfortunately,
that said as well, I don't like the twist they had. I think it should have ended for the first killer, and it would have made so much more sense. You know, when they take the guy's mask off, and they're like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah.
Oh, you literally said that at the same time as the guy.
That should have been the killer, because like the guy's been killing people in random places for 2 years. Like, why does it have to be someone they're connected to in any way? Like, it would have made so much more sense to just have, okay, we don't know who this guy is, and it would have fit into their comedy trope way more than
to end it on a. It would have been like pulling the mask off at the end of the Scooby-Doo adventure and then realizing,
I don't even know this guy.
Who's this guy? Exactly.
That would have been the smartest part of the whole thing, and they threw it away.
Yeah, but
also the light up hard eyes. Why was that such a short period of time? That should have been like any time the guy showed up in the dark.
It would have been. Yeah. Again,
it's not scary. It's fun. Just do it.
Yeah. Exactly. But
yeah. Low battery life.
Low battery life. Yeah. Well, that would have been even better if they had flickered and all that sort of thing.
Even better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. Especially in a dark, all of a sudden you see in the background like these two friggin' hearts in the far distance flicker.
Their own title, like.
No.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well put them in a Cupid mask.
But as we look into the internet and all that sort of thing, apparently they're working with going into pre-production for a sequel, which
we'll see what actually happens. I mean, like I said, Thanksgiving 2 was supposed to be in production a year ago, and apparently that
exactly.
So probably never going to happen.
Yeah, and also look how long it took Thanksgiving to get into the theaters.
Exactly. Yeah. He's already moved on to like 2 other projects, so we're probably not going to see it.
All right, that being said, I'm going to wrap up this month's episode of 13 Pods of Horror. I want to thank you guys, Ahmed and Natasha, for joining me for this particular festive season. And we'll be looking forward to next month when we actually encounter our second of 3 Friday the 13th of the year. And the subject matter will be a little more along the Voorhees-esque storyline as we explore we're going to be exploring the different incarnations of the killer himself, Jason Voorhees.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Right. Exactly. All right, so until next month, stay spooky, everyone. You have just been listening to 13 Pods of Horror, a Planet Geek production. Please be sure to download, subscribe, share, rate, and review. You can buy us a coffee by going to ko-fi.com/planetgeekpod. On different social medias, you can search for either Planet Geek Productions or Planet Geek Pod. You can also reach out to us via email at planetgeekpod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time.